34 years ago, a seemingly innocuous clash in an Australian rules match in Victoria changed forever the life of Neil Sachse. At the time, he was the prize recruit for Footscray and was playing only his second match for them. After colliding with an opponent, Neil Sachse was left a quadriplegic, something that shocked his teammates and the code. But now, more than 3 decades after being injured, the Bulldogs are honouring their former fledgling star whose brief tragic career forever changed the way many view the game. Mike Sexton reports.
They no longer play matches at the Whitten Oval in Melbourne's western suburbs, but the ground remains the home of the AFL's Western Bulldogs. As the current players are put through their paces, inside the club 4 old teammates have gathered to remember the glory and the tragedy of seasons past.
Why'd you have a flat tyre?
You get a licence for that? Is that why you're late? You got picked up?
Oh, still full of shit, are you? Tell you.
In his wheelchair is Neil Sachse, a player whose life changed in a split second here 34 years ago, when an on-field collision left him a quadriplegic.
Yeah, we had to come over and teach you guys how to do it.
But his injury and the way he's dealt with it continues to impact on the lives of others.
I had a wife and 2 young kids at the time, so I wanted to enjoy their company. So I made sure that I try to maintain a positive attitude and get out there and do things.
Around Collins. Now the chance is for Neil Sachse. Plenty of time to turn out of danger. Send it into full forward.
In 1975, Neil Sachse was Footscray's boom recruit. He'd already won a premiership with North Adelaide and played in a side that defeated Victorian premiers Carlton to claim the title of Champions of Australia in 1972.
And the siren's gone. North Adelaide have won it.
Everybody kept on saying how fantastic VFL footy was, and it's cut above everything else. And so I thought, might as well go and try it.
He come over was just going to be a fantastic acquisition to our club as a centre half back, like a really strong, tough, run through the lines type player, and we were really looking forward to having him in our side.
But Neil Sachse's VFL career lasted only 2 matches.
The ball forced out. Sachse got one.
I was right next to it when it happened, and it was just one of those freakish things where for a split instant he seemed to be off the ground and then just got hit. What do you say? It was just a horrible, freakish accident.
The collision broke Sachse's spine, possibly the only injury of its type in VFL history. Teammate Peter Welsh was first on the scene, and the memory remains vivid.
Yeah, your free kick, your free kick. Can't. I said, I can't move. I still didn't realise anything had happened until
I can't move, I can't feel my legs.
No, I don't remember saying that, but
No, he did. No, I put you back down on the ground.
While waiting for the ambulance to go to the hospital, I suggested they should take off my shoes and my football boots, and they said, oh, we did that a long time ago. So I thought, I think I might be in a bit more trouble than I think I am, so I started to hit home a little bit then.
The father of 2 toddlers began a new life as a quadriplegic.
It's no good blaming anybody else. I don't know whether it's just in my makeup or it's in the individual makeup, but I had seen a lot of people while they were in hospital. They just seemed to want to blame everything else, even though they were part of the accident.
When Neil Sachse returned to Adelaide, his teammates floundered in the wake of his accident.
That Footscray side at the time had so much talent that we could have done anything, but it just blew us all apart.
It was just a horrible feeling around the club.
At the time of his injury, Neil Sachse was told there would never be a cure for spinal injury in his lifetime, and given that a majority of those who broke their necks died, just being alive seemed enough.
But that time it changed, and so I thought, I might as well get involved in this push, and therefore, with a friend of mine, we created the foundation, and that was about 13 years ago. So that foundation was to try to find a cure for spinal cord injury. We'd funded a fair bit of research.
That research at Flinders University was able to prove that nerve fibres can grow past the point of an injury. Now further research is being funded at the University of Adelaide's School of Medical Science.
Our aim is basically to prevent cells from dying. So we try to give interventions very early on that promote survival of cells rather than looking at regeneration. It's one of 4 approaches really to making central nervous system cells survive an injury and regenerate.
While Neil Sachse's work is known in Adelaide, for more than 3 decades his injury has remained a dark moment in the Bulldogs' history. Now it's being put in the spotlight. As part of the redevelopment of its old oval, the club is building a museum which will include an acknowledgement of the accident and its ramifications.
He's facilitated quite a lot of change in the rules of the sport as a result of his unfortunate accident here at the Whitten Oval. And as a result of all of that, we feel, one, we should support him as an individual. 2, we should support his foundation.
I don't know that there's too many paid a bigger price, so I think the club is really obligated to make that, to have it recognised, you know, because it was the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. All the boys are getting all your food.
During a tour of the new facilities, Neil Sachse had an unscheduled meeting with the current Bulldogs. So he spoke to them about his foundation and about taking life's chances.
I've had the opportunity, I suppose, of playing in grand finals, and you want to relish them if you get there, because you know, when you look at the number of people that actually make them, there's very few. So, you know, cherish the opportunity if you get there. So good luck too.
Whether or not these players make a grand final remains to be seen, but along the way they are safer playing the game as a result of the injury to their old club mate.
Stevens took the mark, got front contact, and he is in some sort of trouble, I think.
In the wake of Neil Sachse's accident in 1975, the way footballers with spinal and neck injuries are handled has become more and more sophisticated.
I tell you what our medical staff are best at, and that is addressing the health of players in this sort of trouble. You look at other sports.
Before he left the Whitten Oval, Neil Sachse had one last look at where his life so dramatically changed. By nature, he doesn't seek attention, but he's prepared to use his profile to raise awareness of and funds for spinal injury research. The final legacy of that fateful collision may well be a $20 million spinal cord research centre due to open at the University of Adelaide in 2 years' time.
There are a lot of positives in life. It's up to the individual and what he wants to achieve.
Mike Sexton, what's that report?